Hey yo, what's going on, guys? It's Mike Reed here. Welcome back to a interesting little short video for you guys. So, the other day I was doing some some belated spring cleaning for my parents yesterday. And whilst I was doing that, I rediscovered a relic of my past, if you will. Today I want to take a look at this thing. Now, what exactly is this? This is, obviously a case. A very cute case, mind you, but a case. But what we're really looking for is what is inside of this case. So, as we very carefully spin this thing around, and let's see if we can get that to go a little faster. There we go. So, just to give you guys a good look at the case. Pretty nice. Black, gray. Has a little belt clip on it. Couple nice little zippers on it, and it has a Case Logic logo. But what is inside of this case? So open the top up, look inside, and look at that. There's a green thing in there. Let's pull that out. And we have this in there. So this is my very first proper camera. This is the Kodak EasyShare. What is this? The M530. So yeah, this is my original digital camera. As you can see, I actually added a little protector on the side there because this is not the first time I have reopened this, but still, really cute little camera. So what exactly does this camera do? Well, it was originally designed right in 2010 to be a basic point and shoot camera. Nothing really groundbreaking. And I love how you have all the different features just plastered all over the thing. Obviously no box, because the box has been long since been thrown away. But at least I have the case. And of course, its original little, I guess, well, not really lanyard, but this little wrist strap that you can put on it, so that way you don't drop it like an idiot. So, taking a closer look at this thing, we have the Kodak logo with the 12 megapixels. Kodak was an autofocus, 3x optical aspheric lens, 36 millimeter dash 108 millimeter equivalent, and then you have the 3x optical zoom. Of course, hey look, that's its name right there, Kodak EasyShare M530. And then you have a little share button, because one of the features of this camera, and you can definitely tell this is a 2010s camera, is that it has this share button was used to share this to either Kodak's gallery website, which I think is long since dead. You can also send this to YouTube, Facebook, or photos and videos, right? I believe Flickr, which I think is wild. You can send it to Flickr, and various other platforms. Now, unfortunately, there are no more photos and or videos on this because obviously those have been long since ported. So if you're hoping for any goofy photos, well, sorry to disappoint, but it doesn't have those. Anyway, let's turn this little sucker on, see what it does. Do as it turns on, and it does look pretty nice. I love the little transformation you get here in the little lens protector that automatically pops up. So what do we got on the back? So on the back you can actually see, oh hey look, you're watching a video in a video, and the battery, I did actually charge this as well. So let's look at the menus and see what this thing can do. So we have different picture sizes. So we have 1.2 megapixels, that's 4x3, 2.1 megapixel, which is 16 by 9. And you got the 4x3 there, 6.2 megapixels, that's still 4x3, but I'm guessing just bigger size. And you have, I think that's 16 by 9 again, I don't know exactly sure what's different about that. And you got 10.7 megapixels, so that's 3x2. And then you go back to like the 4x3, and whatever case may be, so that's pretty cool. Then you have the self timer / burst mode, which we can have that set to 2-shot, 10 seconds, burst, and then just completely off. Then you can change the preset keyword tag, so you got a bunch of different ones you got there, birthday, holiday, wedding, which let me actually uncheck those. Okay, done. So then you got the AF control. So you got single AF, continuous AF, and you have the single, and that's all you get. And you can hear the little lenses in there moving around. Then we have the date and time, obviously, LCD brightness, auto, power save, high power. Then we got the share button settings, so you can see you can send it to all these different platforms: Kodak Gallery, Facebook, Flickr, YouTube, and you can also have a email address as well. And you guys can have picture frames on your pictures, so that is pretty cool. So how do we go back? Done. Okay, and we got the red eye reduction. We have pre-flash. What is that? Digital correction. All kinds of stuff. Orientation sensor, so you can have this orientated in different directions. Pretty impressive for 2010, at least to me. What else we got? Camera sounds, so you can mute the different sounds on there if you don't want those, or just turn down the sounds. You have low, medium, and high, right? Because there's a built-in microphone on this, or just speaker for that. You have the video out, NTSC, PAL, and that's all you get. And you have the image storage, so you can either use the internal memory or you can use a SD card. Now, I believe there was one included, but of course, sadly, I think that has long since missing and/or has been, formatted, and now there's new stuff on it. But I did actually pop a fresh SD card in here because I believe it takes 16 to 32 gigs. So yeah, pretty nice. Then you got the language here. Oh God! So you can go English, Magyar, Netherlands. Oh, God, I think that's Russian. Oh, I have no idea. Okay, no, I think that's Russian. Oh, is that Turkish? I want to say. Okay, that's Polish. What the heck is Suomi? Dansk. Svenska. Oh, God. Okay, is that Japanese or Chinese? I think that's Japanese. I'm pretty sure that down there is katakana. I'm pretty sure. Okay, yeah, I think this was Chinese. Ooh, no idea. No idea. Portuguese, Italiano. French, okay. Obviously Spanish, Dutch, and then back to English. Okay, so you have quite a bit of languages here. And then, of course, you can reset the camera completely. Of course, you can format the system memory or the internal SD card memory. And you got the Kodak camera software. So, what does this do? Download the Kodak Share Button app to send pictures and videos to social networking sites, email addresses, and picture frames. See the web page that I'm sure is probably dead. Anyway, and then, of course, you have the About section, which tells you, right, like the firmware version, all that sort of stuff. So, back out of that. What else do we have? No, don't do that, Okay, back up, okay. And yeah, can you tell how annoying it would be to click this tiny little D-pad here? Oh my God. So, we'll go back. And what's nice about this too is that you have a manual delete button, which I think is kind of funky. And then we have, let's see, I think we have modes on this as well. Now, how did you do that again? Oh, you click this button. So you have 4 buttons on the top. So you have your power button, which is what's currently glowing. Then you have focus. We have the flash button, the modes button, and then you have the actual button to take a picture. Now, what's nice is that if you press and hold the actual picture button, you click that halfway, you get these little helpful markers. So that way you can actually frame your subject. And then you click it down the full way to take a picture. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do that, but still, and it does actually make a little shutter noise when you click the little thing down because there actually is no shutter on this camera, obviously. Or at least no shutter I can see. Maybe the little shutter protector thing on the front is the actual shutter, but from what I can tell, there is no shutter on this. And then, of course, the orientation sensors. See, so that way you could take pictures like that if you wanted to, hold it up like an old phone. So that's kind of cool. And from this angle, yeah, it does kind of look like an older phone, like an old Android or something, or maybe even one of those old Blackberries, because, again, this is 2010 camera. So how exactly do you zoom on this thing? Well, you have a zoom button right here, which you can zoom in. So, yeah, you can get a really good look at my little Metroid there. Get the angle just right. There we go. Or we can zoom all the way out. All the way. I said all the way. Don't fight me. Thank you. All the way out. Now, we do have other features on this, so let's go into the mode menu. So we have the Smart Capture, which is used for general pictures. Video, so this is what captures motion and sound. They have the Program, used for general picture taking with access to all capture settings. We have the Scenes, and then just back to Smart Capture. So obviously there's not really much to talk about here in Smart Capture, but then the video is how you take video. I'm not going to show that obviously, but I think you guys can figure it out how that's going to work. Then you have the Program. So Program, let's see, so if we click info, I'm pretty sure that will give us some stuff maybe for that. Yeah, okay, so we have exposure compensation, so we can raise that or lower it if we wanted to, so we can make it, oh god, like really dark, or just make it slightly darker, or a case maybe. Right, go back, thank you. Okay, then we have the self timer, so we can set it to 2 picture timer, 10 seconds, 2 seconds, burst, and that's all you get. Then you got the autofocus, infinity, macro, and then the autofocus, and then, okay, so we'll just keep it autofocus, okay. And then if we click info, that takes us back. Okay, so what else this thing got? So back to the mode menu. So let's look at scenes, because I know there's a lot for scenes. Yeah, you got a lot here. So first up, you have portrait, used for full frame photos of. I'm sorry. Can we go back, please? No. Really? How? Oh, there we go. Used for full frame photos of people and other subjects. Panorama left to right, used for catching panorama images left to right. Panorama right left, used for catching panorama images right to left. Blur reduction, used to reduce blur due to subject motion. Sport, used to reduce the effect of fast action. Landscape, used for distant scenery. Close-up, used for subjects closer than 28 inches, 70 centimeters. Night portrait, used at night to capture both subject and background. Steady camera for best results. Okay, click that again. Night landscape, used for photos of distant scenery at night. Steady camera for best results. God dang it, I hate that it does that, and I don't think there's a setting to stop it from doing that. Snow, used for bright snow scene. Used for bright beach scene. Used for photos of documents. Steady camera for best results. Fireworks, used for photos of fireworks. Steady camera, of course, for best results. Flower, used for close-ups of flowers in bright light. Manor, museum, used when sound and flash are not desired. Steady camera for best results. God dang it, stop doing that. Self-portrait, used for close-up of self. So basically selfie mode. So it's kind of crazy that this thing has a selfie mode back in 2010, because I don't believe selfies really caught on until, like, I want to say 2014, 2015, maybe even earlier than that. And god dang it, can it stop doing that? Okay, high ISO, used to capture pictures in very low light conditions. Okay, children, used for action photos of children in bright light. Okay, I don't know why they phrased it like that, but anyway. Backlight, used for photos where light is behind the subject. Panning shot, used for expressing speed of subject in motion. Candlelight, oh, okay, the camera didn't focus there. Used for capturing in candlelight, and god dang, it's not doing that. And then we have sunset, used in sunset light. So, pretty vast array of options there. So, we're gonna go hit the mode button again. And then we'll go back to the normal smart capture. And then, what else is there to check out? And god dang it, camera, can you just focus on this, please? Anyway, is then you have the delete button, which obviously is used to delete any photos that you've taken, which obviously there aren't. So now I guess the last thing we can really look at here is the flash modes. So we have the flash off, red eye correction, which the red eye correction, basically what this does, that the camera's built-in AI, or not really AI, but it's just its software tries to correct for the red eyes in photos, which was apparently a problem at this time. And this camera aims to fix that. We have the auto, And I believe there's also a red eye, like pre-flash they call it, where the camera does a pre-flash to help dilate the pupils a bit. And apparently that's supposed to eliminate red eyes in photos, which I think is kind of cool. And something else I think is cool about this camera as well is that you can actually program it to recognize certain faces. So I believe what you do is that when you actually take a picture of someone's face, you can actually have it recognize that face. Like you can name the person right in the picture in question, and then when you take pictures with those people in the future, it will just automatically recognize the faces. I think it's pretty cool. There's also a tripod stand as well. Let me go ahead and turn this thing off now. It also has a little Kodak thing as it turns off. You do have a little tripod stand. I don't know if I have any tripods that will fit this, but hey, it does have the option. What else does this thing have? A bunch of logos and stuff. Kodak, easy share. Yep, and then of course we have the battery panel, which if we take this out, you can see the battery, which I have to kind of slide that little switch to get that out. And there it is. You get a Kodak digital camera battery, Click 7006, rechargeable lithium-ion battery. And yes, even to this day, you can still buy extras of this battery, which I think is awesome. And surprisingly, even though it was stuck in a drawer for so long, I'm surprised the battery didn't explode and or just puff up. So, hey. That works, I guess. So you just slide that back in there. Back. Get in there. Okay, I think we put in like that. Okay. And that just clicks into place. Make sure that dial is all the way up. Okay, our little switch. And then down here is the SD card. Which you pop that out, you can see it is I put that down there. A Samsung SD card adapter, and then of course we have a 16 gig SanDisk Ultra card in there. So just pop that back into the camera, and you just slide that back in there like that. So yeah, pretty nice camera, and you know, this thing was a lot of fun to use back in, I believe, 2011, 2012 was, I believe, when I was really using this camera. And I remember, because I used to go where I used to live, to the Pittsburgh Zoo and Aquarium. And I would love bringing this camera with me and just taking pictures of the animals and whatever case may be. So this was fantastic for that. I think I still have those photos laying around somewhere. Don't know if I do. But I know that's where I really use this camera, and it's just awesome to just see this relic just come to life. Like, you have no idea how happy I was to power this thing on and just hear that little doo-doo-doo-doo when it powers on. Like, that was just magic to see that this thing is still alive after, like, almost like 10, 20 years of being stuck in a freaking drawer, that it still comes to life. And I guess that also goes to show the quality of the build of this camera and how well built it is. But that said, I mean, yeah, I just have a lot of nostalgia for this camera because this is also around the time I got my first DS, which to me was like the equivalent of like a smartphone. And ironically enough, it was around the time I got my original 3DS that this camera kind of faded into obscurity for me, and I rarely ever used it anymore. Instead, I decided to use the cheap camera on the 3DS, on the OG 3DS, and oh my god, so the pictures on there, which surprisingly I still have saved on that DS, they are not exactly pretty pictures. But hey, you know what? At the time, I was just a dumb kid. I didn't know what a quality camera was, necessarily. But this Kodak, for a long time, was like the go-to camera for me. And like I said, became pretty, was pretty special to me. And looking back now, I kind of wished I had done videos with this camera, because I'm sure it probably would have done decent enough videos for 2010, but I don't know. But the past is the past, and now I got a proper phone that can take way better videos than this dinky thing can. And, well, I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe one day I might actually get some use out of this camera again. Who knows? Maybe if I go out somewhere, maybe if I go to another zoo or something, maybe just for old time's sake, I might bring this little pupper with me and take some pictures with it. Who knows? But Yeah, so I know it's kind of weird that I'm so nostalgic over a camera, but listen, any electronic device that I have, even if it's something as tiny as this dinky little camera, I still have nostalgia for and how magical this device was at the time to just literally click a button and then boom, takes a picture just like that. And even just watching the little lens come out was always fascinating to me, and how it just would always how it would come out and you know, I wouldn't take pictures of myself, God forbid, but still, it was awesome taking pictures of this thing, zooming in, and whatever case may be, and always having to hand over the camera to my mom because I had no idea how to, do certain settings. Unlike now, where I can kind of figure out all the settings, but most of those settings I never used, if any, except maybe like turning off the flash or whatnot. But hey, this camera did exactly what, like 9, 10-year-old me could have asked for. Point at a scene, take a picture. Easy. And then just, then just boot off the SD card or just plug it into the computer and boom, rip my photos right off. It's great for that. But other than that, yeah, I would recommend trying to, make professional quality videos with this dinky thing. Because, I mean, again, we're talking about a 2010 camera. Like, it's, like digital camera, so it's not exactly going to be the most riveting for videos. Unlike this phone's camera, which is much, much more, I guess, optimized for modern video standards. But still, really nice thing. Really nice thing. So that's going to be it for my little nostalgia trip with my Kodak EasyShare M530, aka my first true, I guess, camera I've ever gotten, let alone have. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this one, please make sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell so that way you guys get notified for all my uploads. And with that being said, guys, later Read Squad, and have a good one.